Alright, so these are going to be my conference championship power rankings for the conference championship of this NFL season. Let's get started. Start off with our top performances. You guys can again maybe look at this all yourself here. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I do want to mention Saquon Barkley had another 200 plus yard game with 2 touchdowns. He's been absolutely amazing here in this playoff run. Next up is going to be our injuries. Not a whole lot to go on of the Bills. Christian Binford and Taylor Rapp are both questionable. Chiefs, McCole Hardman is questionable. Eagles, Byron Young and Quinton Mitchell are questionable. And for the Commanders, Sam Cosmi is going to be injured for the rest of the season. So it definitely hurts to be losing an offensive lineman there. I'll get up in here for you guys. But yeah, moving on to number 4 is going to be the Washington Commanders. I mean, they obviously they won this week. They did really good against the Detroit Lions. Very much an upset win I did not expect. They won 45-31. So the same Lions team that held the Vikings to like 7 points or something, they let the Commanders drop 45 on their heads by a rookie quarterback, Jaden Daniels. The Commanders have been amazing this season. All right, they're certainly going to be the underdog here against Philadelphia, but I definitely wouldn't count them out considering how they just played against the Detroit Lions. But they're still going to be the worst team here in the power ranking for me. They did not move up against any of these 3 teams that were ahead of them about a week ago. Number 3 is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles. They won this week as well, obviously, right? They won 28-22 versus the Los Angeles Rams. Made it closer than it should have been. They were up 14 points, I believe, or 16 points or something like that, going into the last like 3 minutes of the game. They let the Rams score a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to make it close, but still not close enough, and they didn't really have a great shot. They had a chance to tie it up at the end of the game, but obviously it did not work out for the Rams. The Eagles walk away with a victory, but I still think they're going to be below the 2 AFC teams in my mind. They were still below those 2 teams last week. So they're not really going to move ahead of anybody because they didn't look all that impressive. Again, Jalen Hurts had less than 150 passing yards in this game, right? Not that the AFC quarterbacks did much better, but still, this team is reliant on Saquon Barkley and Saquon Barkley alone, as well as their defense. But their offense does not go through the pass game at all so far. Number 2 is going to be the Buffalo Bills. So again, they were number 3 last week, below the Detroit Lions, but they're going to move ahead of them, obviously. But they did not move ahead of the other AFC team who was also ahead of them last week. They played really good this week against the Ravens. It was a very close game. They ended up winning 27-22. The Ravens had a 2-point conversion at the end of the game to tie it and go to overtime potentially, or the Bills still had some time left. They could have scored in the regulation and won. But yeah, overall, very fun game, very great game. They had 3 defensive turnovers, so that's really good. The running game was solid, but Josh Allen did not do much in this game. If I pull up the stats here for Josh Allen, he had he had 127 passing yards. Sorry. He had 127 passing yards in the whole game. So again, not much going through their passing game. Their rushing game had over 100 yards, and they had great field position because their defense was so good in this game against Baltimore, again, forcing those 3 turnovers. But yeah, moving on from Buffalo, we're going to get to number 1, the Kansas City Chiefs. They were number 1 last week. They beat the Texans 23-14, largest margin of victory out of any of these teams other than Washington Commanders this week. But I still don't think Washington deserves to jump ahead of any of these teams. But yeah, Kansas City had a good win, won by 9 points, obviously. Mahomes had 177 total yards. So none of these quarterbacks besides Jaden Daniels threw for over 177 yards. Like that's crazy. Right? All 4 of these teams got outgained this week, which is also pretty crazy to think that they all won the game, even though they all got outgained. The Chiefs didn't have any turnovers, right? That they played Chiefs football here in this game. It was a 1-possession game for a lot of it. Made it a 2-possession game late, and it was too much for the Texans to overcome. But yeah, moving on from there, we're going to have our game picks. So again, there's only 2 games here, and both my Super Bowl picks from the original for my original prediction are still here. I did not predict the Bills or Commanders to be this far, but I did have the Chiefs and Eagles making the Super Bowl, so I'm gonna stick with those picks. Chiefs Bills should be a very fun game, should be high scoring. It's going to be another all-time classic between Buffalo and Kansas City in the playoffs. And at least I presume that to be the case, because every Buffalo Bills Kansas City Chiefs matchup in general, not just the playoff matchups, has been pretty good. But the Chiefs have won the last 3 times versus the Bills in the playoffs. And the Bills have a history of losing 4 consecutive big-time playoff games. So I'm going to take the Chiefs to win this one. And Eagles and Commanders, again, Commanders are playing great football. They just dominated the number 1 seed in the NFC. But I think Saquon Barkley is a different monster for this Commanders team. I think the Eagles defense is better than the Lions defense. And again, I'm just going to ride with my original pick of picking the Eagles to go to the Super Bowl. Should be a fun game. Should be a great weekend here of football. But I'm going to take the Chiefs and the Eagles, which is kind of a boring Super Bowl because we just got that 2 years ago. But that's kind of what I said. We had the Chiefs-Niners in 2020, the Chiefs-Eagles in 22, Chiefs-Niners again in 23, and now the Chiefs-Eagles here in 24. I know it's technically, a year off and all those, but like, you get what I'm saying. But yeah, that's going to be it for the video. Thank you for watching. Make sure to check back next week for my Super Bowl preview, and make sure to check out my NBA videos as well.